people, and welcome to Not Even Close to Baseball Tonight, Episode 7. I'm Anders, and I'm going solo today because it's only a week before opening day, and I think it's necessary that I go over my preseason at this point, picks, and tell you who I think is going to win each division. But first, I'm going to take off my sweatshirt because I am stinking hot. Alright. In the American League East, I'm going to pick the Yankees, and I'm going to tell you why. I really like what they did in the offseason, signing CC Sabathia, Mark Teixeira, and AJ Burnett. I think that those were wise decisions. I think that those are going to pay off. I know a lot of magazines are not picking the Yankees for those specific reasons, thinking that those are going to backfire, the players are going to get injured, something wrong is going to happen, and they're just going to crash and burn like the Yankees of the past couple of years. But I think that everything the Yankees have done this offseason, they did it for a reason, and the Yankees are going to be back to the Yankees of old, the Yankees of 2000, 1999, those kinds of Yankees. In the American League Central, I know people might think that I'm going to pick my White Sox, which, believe me, I would like to, but we're going to stink this year, and I'm going to swallow my pride and go with the Twins, mostly because of their scrappy gameplay. Their pitchers aren't star names other than Joe Nathan, but they can get the job done. They're very reliable, very tough, and I don't know, I like the way the Twins are set up. Write that down, because that'll be one of the only times you'll ever see me sing the praises of the Minnesota Twins organization. American League West, I'm going with last year's holder of the best record in Major League Baseball by a long shot, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. No reason needed to be given. They're just a solid all-around ball club, and I like the way they're made up. Their pitching is steady. Their outfielders are old but reliable, like the Twins pitching. There I go, I did it again, go Twins! My wild card pick, you can interchange the Rays and the Yankees pretty much, but I think I'm going to stay with the Yankees for the East, and the wild card is going to be the Tampa Bay Rays, mostly because I like them. National League East, we're going to move on pretty quickly here. I'm picking the New York Mets because Johan Santana is good, and I like that they've upgraded their bullpen. They got J.J. Putz and Francisco Rodriguez. Those are two major acquisitions that any Mets fan will tell you that they needed to have done. Finally, they don't have to rely on just Billy Wagner, as Wagner, Rodriguez, and Putz can take the closer role. It's any three of them could do it, and the other two can be set up. But I like the Mets and what they have done this offseason. Both New York teams made some pretty significant moves this offseason, and I think that those are going to pay off. You guys just watch. For the National League Central, if Ethan were here, he would pick the St. Louis Cardinals, as would I, so I'm going to go ahead and pick them. I don't know why, but I'm going to force Ethan to write a blog post about his picks, because he needs to be included in this episode somehow. My National League West pick is going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers, mostly because they picked up Manny in the offseason, and I think that was a really smart move, because without Manny Ramirez, they're nothing. He's the key to their organization. He's the keystone of their batting order, and I think that, without him, as I said, they would be nothing. So Manny Ramirez is very important. He's an integral piece of their playoff run last year. I think I saw in the Cubs game when they were playing the Dodgers that he hit 17 home runs and drove in 53 runners in something like 56 games, which is crazy, but those are the kind of numbers Manny Ramirez is expected to put up and will put up. My wild card pick is the Chicago Cubs, and mostly because they like the Twins, are pretty scrappy, but they do have a lot of power hitters. I'm not so sure, although I do like their decision to go after him that Milton Bradley is what the Cubs were looking for. I know he can play right field, but he's injury prone. He's clubhouse poison. He's got a temper. I don't know, and he's a switch hitter, and what they really needed was a left-handed bat because they have too many right-handers. But Milton Bradley will predominantly bat from the left side of the plate, or the right side of the... I don't know, but he's going to bat lefty most of the year because there aren't too many left-handers in the National League that I can think of other than Johan Santana. But yeah, and then that pretty much wraps up my picks. I got through that pretty quickly. So there was some baseball news today, mostly going back to the Cubs. Lou Piniella has chosen Kevin Gregg as his 2009 closer, which I thought was a very big surprise because I figured that for sure Carlos Marmol would get that job because when he's on, nobody can hit him. And even when he's having an off day, his stuff is pretty nasty. But I don't know. I haven't seen much of Kevin Gregg because I haven't followed the Marlins the past year or two. And I don't know. That'll be interesting to follow. D-Train, Dontrelle Willis of the Tigers was placed on a 15-day DL due to anxiety issues, which is really terrible. But I think, well, no, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the trust and the expectations that everybody is putting into Dontrelle because they had heard so much that he changed his form. He's going back to the old D-Train, and I think that this is just overwhelming him, and so that has led to the anxiety issues. He's being put on the DL to be cared for, along with his buddy Joel Zumaya. And then staying in the American League Central, Joe Mauer's injury. There's still not too much news on that. He's still on watch. His back is still hurting. I want to see him stay out as long as possible because I'm a White Sox fan. But Twins fans want to see him back. Want to see him back as soon as possible. So we'll look for more news on that as the week progresses. And sorry about that. The memory card ran out of room, so I had to clear some space. Anyway. We'll watch Joe Mauer as we get closer to the start of the season, and that should be interesting to see how that plays out. Mike Redmond is a pretty good backup, so if Mauer's out for a pretty extensive amount of time, Redmond should do fine. I'd like to take this time to remind you that you can email Ethan and I at e2aproductions at gmail.com. One of us will get back to you. You can also leave a comment, obviously, in the YouTube box below. Oh yeah, the email is e2aproductions at gmail.com. And, or you can send us a message here on YouTube. We also have a blog that I'm going to start keeping up on again. That's nectbt.blogspot.com. nectbt.blogspot.com. So be sure to check that out. Watch our show more, tell your friends, and I will be talking to you whenever I get around to it next. See ya! Take me